From a wall to a cave. That is the core story of the new Trump-Pelosi era because, as you know, President Trump picked the largest battle of his presidency over the wall and shutdown against a new speaker, and he completely caved on Friday at a cost, we can tell you tonight, to the economy that is roughly double what Trump requested for the wall in the first place. Now, Trump's surrender here, bigger than a simple political failure. We are in, of course, month number 1 of Trump governing while another party has power in Congress. And Trump's failed approach to this shutdown, I think, has revealed some of the costs of his hyperbole, false claims, the inflated threats, and yes, the documented lies. And this may concern Trump's own supporters. It may also show the Democrats keys to beating him now that they have the House. And that brings us to tonight's Beat Special Report. Trump has now made 8,000 false statements or lies since taking office, a record according to the Washington Post. And tonight we want to break this down specifically in 2 categories. 1, Trump's blatant lies about facts, about things we know that happened. But also 2, Trump's false statements about what he will do, like whether he would cave on the wall, which he did. Now, the first category of lies are well known. They are vintage Trump.
Republicans passed the biggest tax cut and reform in history. We got tax cuts, biggest tax cuts in the history of our country.
That's false. Trump was on notice about it at the time, and we could go through many of those examples, 8,000 if you want, and we already know about them. Tonight I want to focus on these falsehoods from Trump about what he will do as president, the ridiculous pledges, the extreme threats, the broken promises, these hyped negotiation offers, because there are people who argue cynically that those lies will work because his supporters accept them and his reality no matter what. But actually, some of these lies in what I'm calling category 2, right now, this month, they are blowing up in Trump's face.
How long are you willing to keep the government shut down in order to get
As long as it takes.
On day 35 of the shutdown, President Trump in retreat, deferring his fight for a border wall.
Now, the easy solution is for me to call a national emergency. I could do that very quickly. I'm not looking to call a national emergency. This is so simple, you shouldn't have to. I am proud to shut down the government for border security. I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I am very proud to announce today that we have reached a deal to end the shutdown and reopen the federal government.
That deal had no money for the wall and nothing that Trump was demanding. It was the same deal he could have taken on day 1. Now, these claims didn't fool a lot of people. They didn't fool Nancy Pelosi. They didn't fool the majority of Americans. They didn't even fool Trump's most fervent supporters in the right-wing press. Polling showed most Americans did oppose Trump on the shutdown. And then the media leaders of his own conservative base, many of whom took credit for Trump's stance, they weren't fooled by Friday's announcement. Ann Coulter blasting Trump as a, quote, wimp for caving and then admitting on Friday night that he broke his wall promise.
Crazy that I expect a president to keep the promise he made every day for 18 months.
You're finding out he's a lying con man. What was your first clue?
Okay, I'm a very stupid girl, fine.
Now, some conservatives on Fox News say it looks like Trump's false pledges on the wall came from the wrong place, that he cared too much about people in the media criticizing him, while Lou Dobbs says that reality shows Trump's false pledge led him to a whipping from Pelosi.
I think the president cares way too much about people in the media. There are times when you have leverage, there are times you don't. And this was a time in which he did not have maximum leverage.
I mean, she has just whipped the president of the United States, but you've got to call it as it is. This president said it was going to be conditional border security, building that wall, and he just reversed himself. To deny it is to try to escape from reality, and that we ain't going to do here.
Dobbs is pointing out that Trump's false pledge hurt himself and his political allies because other people, other Republicans, were putting their necks out based on Trump's word. And this is where bluffing can blow up in your face. Here was one of Trump's most loyal cheerleaders taking Trump's word during the shutdown.
He's not going to sign a bill that doesn't have money for the wall. If he gives in now, that's the end of 2019 in terms of him being an effective president. That's probably the end of his presidency.
The end of, quote, his presidency, and that's a Trump supporter talking. Now, of course, Trump signed a temporary bill that doesn't have any money for the wall, and apparently Pelosi made him because she found a way to break this cycle of false pledges or lies. Her philosophy was don't give in. She decided that if she cared about this issue more than Trump, she would wait him out, not negotiate and try to meet in the middle of what she deemed a false pledge. And that is what I want to get into tonight and why this is important, because it may show a way forward for Trump's opponents. In fact, even his own former supporters are saying so.
You want to
37.
Get Trump? I'm telling you how to get Trump. He promised something for 18 months and he lied about it. That's how you get Trump.
That's how you get Trump. He is clearly in some political trouble right now. You can tell when these takedowns of a broken pledge and reality-defying lies are coming from Ann Coulter and Lou Dobbs and Fox and Friends. Big picture, it is not every week that a president creates the longest shutdown in history and then caves by taking the exact offer he had at the start and draws critiques from the right, left, and center. Nor is it every week that a president looks for a way to hide that cave in plain sight by announcing it the day his longest-serving advisor is indicted. But as you know, I guess that's the way we live now. And it has, of course, also become something of a cliche to say, oh, but Trump gets away with things and he's not held accountable for his lies. But look at the facts. 6 former aides indicted. An open criminal probe. His team's not getting away with everything. Roasted and toasted for broken promises by conservatives, which shows that the falsehoods did hurt him in the shutdown fight. So, you know, Trump's lawyers, they always say they don't want him to talk or to testify because Mueller would spring a perjury trap. But Trump is in trouble because of lies he told all by himself. He is living in a perjury trap house he built himself. And maybe that's very 2019 as well, from a wall to a cave to a trap house. Legally, it's too early to know if Trump made any false statements that amount to perjury. Politically, some of Trump's own supporters say it's too late to put up with his false statements anymore.
You want to
37.
get Trump? I'm telling you how to get Trump. He promised something for 18 months and he lied about it. That's how you get Trump.
Hey, I'm Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.